Okay, next slide. Okay, so just some housekeeping rules. Do keep your video switched on throughout the meeting, and keep your mic on mute when you are not speaking. And yeah, the meeting will be recorded for archive purposes. Next slide. Passing on, I will continue it with the opening addresses. So next slide. Okay, so the theme of today's meeting is the art of evaluation. Okay, as our area contest is arriving, I hope that can give our contestants some preparation, or like to give them some exposure on how more people will evaluate others, so to let them excel in their contest soon. Next. Okay, so I'll simply just pass it to our Toastmasters of the evening. Presentation Mastery Level 3, Joshua. Over to you.
Eugene, our president. Good evening, fellow youths from UMTMC Toastmasters Club, as well as guests. Welcome to our meeting 374. Tonight, we will have something special. Usually, we would have table topic session, but for today, we would start with a different session called the open evaluation session, where members and guests will listen to a test speaker's prepared speech and prepare for an evaluation. If you are interested to join that, you can always put your name in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. And one important tip that I can give you for this session is to actively listen. Next, we would have the prepared speeches, where members will present their prepared speeches with specific objectives. And lastly is the evaluation sessions, where the speakers will receive constructive feedback from their speech evaluators. Before I move on to the next slide, I'd like to ask, is there any guests from other clubs that they would like to introduce themselves? I think there is not, or maybe perhaps Aldi. Aldi, are you from UM Toastmasters Club, or?
No, I'm not.
Oh, would you like to introduce yourself?
All right, I'm Aldi. I'm from Essential, Jakarta.
Oh, hi, welcome. How did you know about UM Toastmasters Club?
I just look for another club.
I see. All right, nice meeting you. Hope you have a good time in today's meeting. So, fellow UM Toastmasters members, what is Toastmasters? Can anyone answer me this question? What is Toastmasters? Is it?
It's about making toast.
Okay, that is absolutely not true.
It's to make toast for Yam Sing.
We're not here to make toast.
Toast for Yam Sing, Yam Sing.
Oh, that is correct, Meng. The toast is like Yam Seng, when people give a speech during a dinner, like maybe they want to thank someone, or they want to give something inspirational to the audiences. At first, I also thought that Toastmasters Club was a club to make toast, but it is not a club to make toast. It is a worldwide non-profit educational organization that empowers people to become more effective communicators and leaders. And this is all thanks to our founder, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, who founded it in 1924 at YMCA, Santa Ana, California. And as of today, there is a network of over 270,000 plus members in more than 14,200 clubs across 148 plus countries in the world. And in Toastmasters International, we have 4 core values, which are respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Next, I would like to talk about our club's history, which was founded by Vincent Hall. He is from MISA Toastmasters Club. He was asked to help in the objective and to promote the Toastmasters movement. It took approximately 4 years to follow up with the officials throughout the tenures of 2 terms of vice chancellors. And also, there was an organization called the Center of Industrial Training and Relations, which was led by Professor Maro Haini and Dr. Stephanie Pillai, who also associated with the help of founding Toastmasters Club. It first started in Faculty of Languages and Linguistics, and later on, Mid-Valley Toastmasters and MISA Toastmasters Club came to conduct a meeting in And on the 18th of April 2007, UMTMC Club, Toastmasters Club was chartered. And initially, it wasn't called Toastmasters Club. At first, it was called Toastmasters International Club, but then later on changed to Toastmasters Club. Of course, in a meeting, we would have 4 technical role players to ensure that the meeting goes smoothly. I would like to invite our first role player, the Grammarian, Sherru, to share with us the word of the day. Sherru, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Mr. or Miss Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, as a grammarian for today evening, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to your language usage. I will take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce you the word of the day, comprehensive. Jane.
Which economy meet its official forecast of between
I listened it to try the slides.
Actually, I did update the slides according to them.
So, should I share it or what?
It's okay, Sherru. I think you can read from this slide because I already transfer your content into this slide here.
So, our word of the day is comprehensive. The definition of comprehensive is complete and including everything that is necessary. The example of the sentences are as such. We offer you a comprehensive training in all aspects of the business. Is the list comprehensive or are there some names missing? Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will give the grammarian report when called upon during the meeting. I will also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Toastmaster, and back to Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you to our grammarian, Sherru. Next, I would like to invite our counter, Jane, to introduce her role to us. Jane, over to you.
Okay, so as an R counter, I'll take note all of your pause fillers during your speeches or every time you speak, including during TME introduction and so. So at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of usage of pause fillers such as or repeated words like this means, or inappropriate interjections such that like so I will came up with a report at the end of the meeting when called. Over to Toastmasters of the evening.
All right. Thank you, Jane, for introducing your role as the R counter. Up next, I would like to invite Koon to introduce his role as the timer. Koon, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster of the evenings. I am timer of the days. As a timer, I'll count the time for each speakers for the speech and evaluations. I'll signal then the remaining time with green light, yellow light, and red light. I'll have a report at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Koon. And last but not least, our general evaluator, Meng, he had an emergency meeting. So he will later on provide a report on his general evaluators evaluation, as well as the open evaluation sessions remarks to those speakers who attempt in the open evaluation session. Nonetheless, I will also try my best to provide feedbacks to speakers who attempt in the open evaluation session, as well as the entire meeting performance, and to the evaluations, to the speech evaluations as well. Now, let us begin with our very first session, open evaluation session, which will be conducted by our open evaluation master, Zhi Jun. Zhi Jun, the floor is yours.
All right, so first of all, let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Hello everyone, I'm Zhi Jun, the Open Evaluation Master for today's meeting. For the guests, maybe for the first, or for the new members of UN Toastmaster, maybe perhaps you are wondering, what is open evaluation? I only know table topics, I only know prepared speech, I only know the evaluation. And what is open evaluation? Today I will explain for you. Open evaluation is the evaluation session which opens to all audience, including the external Toastmaster, the guests, or even non-Toastmaster members who join on to have fun with us. And the participants may find the evaluation form on the third page of our latest agenda. So our test speaker today, he will provide a 5 to 7 minute speech. After 5 to 7 minute speech, speech ends. Each participant is provided 2 to 3 minutes to give your evaluation to the test speaker. And the timer will show a green background after 2 minutes, a yellow background after 2 minutes 30 seconds, and a red background after 3 minutes, and a time's up signal after 3 minutes 30 seconds. Participants is considered underspend the time if you talk before less than 1 minute 30 seconds, or overspend the time if you talk more than 3 minutes 30 seconds. So control your time, and a voting session for best open evaluation evaluator will be carried out for this session. For those who are new to evaluators, how to evaluate? Don't worry, just be relaxed. You just imagine like you are the audience and you listen to someone talking, and then you just think, he good at his tone, and then he need to improve in his body language like that. So how to evaluate? First, you listen carefully what the speaker talks, and then you take note of the speech elements, such as the vocal variety of the speaker, the tone content, the hand gesture, and the content of the speech, like what the test speaker talks, and then is his content related to his topic or not, and many more you can comment on, but don't comment on his appearance. Those just comment on his speech, don't comment on his people, don't comment on his he eyes so small, he mouth so small, like that. And select 2 to 3 points what the speaker did well, and 2 to 3 points improvement to the speaker, and then you elaborate on it. Remember to be specific and honest. Don't like if the speaker talk very fast or speaker you cannot get what the speaker talks, but say wow, very good, very good, very good. Be honest, but don't talk too straightforward until hurt the speaker's heart. The speaker requires to be gentle to him. And one technique perhaps useful for you all, use the sandwich technique. Like the bread, which put on the up of the and the down, like what the picture. Two praise comment up and below, and in the middle is the content, is the suggestion of improvement. Like you are good in your vocal variety. However, you may improve. Don't use however. Like you are good in your vocal variety. To improve your speech to a better level, you may adjust your camera angle to more center. In short, you are good in vocal variety, and then you may improve on your camera angle, just like this. Two positive comments between the suggestion of improvement. So be relaxed, just to be an audience and observe the speaker. The speaker for today is Jefri. He is taking level 2, understanding your communication style. The purpose of this project is for Jefri to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary style. And the purpose of his speech is for Jefri to share the impact of his style on others. With that, let us invite Toastmaster Jefri, Leadership Development Level 1. Keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple, silly. The floor is yours.
Keep it simple, silly. That was one of the phrases mentioned by my superior recently. For context, I'm currently working in the HR/admin/account department in an office environment. My primary style of communicating, and the definition of communication is, in case you don't know, is to project your message to someone so that you can get your message across. Over the years, in my 26 years of living, I've experienced these 4 types of communication styles, or let's not say 4, let's just say 3A. So we have the direct communication, which is where the person is more straightforward, straight to the point, as what the layman says. And secondly, you could be supportive, where you are a keen listener and have a lot of patience when interacting with the said person. And then you have the initiating style of communication, which is my current style right now, where you tend to be energetic, sociable, where you focus on the aspects of being liked by others. However, sometimes we can be more of a people pleaser. And then last but not least, you have the analytical style of communication, where you are data driven. You rely on facts and figures, and you think through before you say something to someone. Well, the first form of communication, which is the supportive style of communication, is the example that I've experienced using this form of communication was right after college, where I was working part-time job at Starbucks for around 6 months. And let me tell you, the first time working in a retail is hectic. I had learned how to make latte, frappuccino, caramel macchiato, espresso, hot chocolate, iced chocolate, and many more. And a lot of people there are stressed as well, including my colleagues, because the customer demand on a lot of things, a lot of edits and additions to their beverages, which sometimes make us go insane. And then we have to clean up at the end of the day. So we are all tired people. So I try my best to be a supportive person, where I will be very patient in listening to what their problems are, and then just be a listening ear instead of talking about the sales, about the outlet performance and whatnot. because it's important to be supportive to others because you want to be liked by others and then get promoted in the end. So that was one of my goal of being a supportive person because I wanted to be liked by others. And next, when I joined office work recently here at Johor, when I moved to KL, the term supportive communication style was not suitable at my workplace because the colleagues, they are not that stressful compared to the retail workers because they are just sitting under the aircon the whole day facing the computer and then sitting on my chair. Yes, that's my work on a daily basis. I love it. I get paid to do that. So they prefer things to be straight to the point, like what my supervisor said. Keep it simple. But she never say silly. She said something else. And I'm pretty sure you already know what is it, but I'm not going to say it. Because being a straightforward person, she's very direct. But at the same time, I felt that it can be a bit rude at times, and that was the downside of it. However, I've also met other people that also apply KISS and being direct in their communication style, but they are more on the polite side. And that's what I'm trying to inculcate in myself, how to be direct, but at the same time, you know how to take care of another person's feelings. For instance, the not so good version of being direct. Hey, Jeffrey, when you want to make the payment to our supplier, take you so long. Versus, hey, Jeffrey, how was the payment? Because my boss is already started chasing me. Well, you can see the difference between these two types of direct communication. One is a bit too straightforward and it's a bit rude, while on the other hand, it's a bit more polite. It's like you are talking to a human instead of talking to the machine. And then next, we have the analytical side of communication. This style of communication is something that I apply a lot when I studied in secondary school, in college, and even when I'm studying, I change the mode of communication style because when I speak to the lecturer or the students, I have to provide like supporting evidence on what I'm saying, the statistics and whatnot, and even when I'm doing my report. That is when the analytical side of communication style plays an important role. Well, I believe that our mode of communication is actually, perhaps the style is not fixed throughout our entire lifetime because we may switch from one communication style to the other. The important thing is that it can adapt to the current situation or problem that you are facing because being able to adapt to the environment is what can make us mature and grow as a person. That's all from my unprepared speech. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Zhi Jun, I think you are muted. Is it?
Okay. Thank you for reminding. Thank you, Toastmaster Jefri. Yeah, I agree with your view that communication is your communication style is not fixed and it's based on which the environment you are in. Like if you are in to your boss or something, perhaps you maybe need to gentle a bit to make him happy, and if you are talking to subordinate, you have to be firm so that they can follow your instruction or something like that. Okay, let's start our open evaluation session. May I have the first volunteer? Samuel, you would like to try? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the floor is yours.
Thank you, Zhi Jun. Hi, Jeffrey. It's nice to hear you speaking on this topic again. I remember from the previous story you shared with us on your wedding experience, and now we've got a new story to hear. So yes, I like your story. It really get it on story when you shared about your Starbucks experience. I feel I was able to connect with that because I am also working part-time last time and while waiting for my results. And that did add essence to your speech when you shared how you relate it to a supportive speaking, how you use a supportive communication style during the experience. Yeah. And secondly, I like that it was a very structured, how you started off in a very structured manner, especially in this very sort of technical presentation where there is the 4 types of speeches, 4 types of communication styles, and you clearly listed them out all 1, 2, 3, 4, and each and what are they. So I like that it gets me to understand and follow what are these 4 technical points. On top of that, when there's no slides and you are just verbally sharing like that. So having to present it this manner really helps me to understand it. Okay, and I really like your confidence when you shared as well about your stories, even though I thought that it did sound prepared. And here's where I can recommend that you do not end with although it's an unprepared speech, because if you hadn't said that, I thought it was actually it sounded to me pretty confident and I could really resonate the story. So perhaps rather than ending that, can end with and just a thank you, and we would feel like, oh, this guy really prepared, even though like you tai chi something out, but your confidence will speak for itself. And also one more thing I can recommend to improve or is that when you were sharing your story, there's maybe one thing I learned from someone is that when you are trying to use third person speech, you can perhaps try to like shift a bit to the left and like talk like, oh, this is person A speaking, and then like, oh, this is person B speaking. Then it gives me a clearer scenario when you're trying to tell the story. Yeah, and that's just my 2 cents that I think can help to enhance your speech. And just like to give a comprehensive summary of what I shared with you, which is firstly that I like the structure of your speech, and secondly, you told a really good personal story, and of course you sound really confident. And the 2 improvements I would challenge you is to not end with I didn't prepare, but just close it with a thank you, which speaks very heavily. And lastly, the non-verbal aspect, which is the non-verbal aspect of the speech. Yeah, and with that, thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Zhi Jun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samuel, for sharing a very detailed and very structured your evaluation. What I like about is you summarize about his goods and his improvements. That's good, right? And may I have the second? Toastmaster Lorraine say you want to go to second.
Yes, I did.
Can I?
Yeah.
Right.
Can
Okay,
we evaluate later? I mean, can I go after Lorraine?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So Toastmaster Lorraine, the floor is yours.
Right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Zhi Jun. Jefri, hi. Although I may not have known you I think this is my first time meeting you. What I loved about your speech is how you explained your communication style with your own experience. And that is part of the objective in your speech tonight, which is talking about your own communication style and how the styles impact in your life. And you did a wonderful job for explaining during your speech how it impacted you and how your adaptation to using these styles in your life experience. I loved it very much. I like you had a very strong key message at the end about how, as a person, you have to adapt to your environment as well as your communication style to that environment. So that strong key message at the end is memorable for me, and it's a good take-home message for myself. One thing I noticed during your entire speech is the position of your body. What I've noticed is actually you're very close to the camera, although I hear very strong messages. One thing that can be improved is how you can be expressive by moving back from the camera and showing more hand gestures. That way, it's more expressive in your speech. I also notice in terms of your vocal variety, there are some variety there. What I can help to suggest you to add on to that vocal variety is giving your characters voices that can differentiate. By giving a different voice for different character, it is a way for you to show your audience a different character in your story. You can practice this by using different tones, perhaps maybe a change in your pitch to a different character in your speech. So what I can challenge you, use your body to express in your speech, because you have done a wonderful job with the messaging. And the goal of your message. So using your body would help. So in summary, I love the key message and also how you explain your own experience with your communication style. What you can improve from there is using your body language and also your vocal variety to add more character to your speech, and also to challenge you for giving your character more variance and also make it more comprehensive for your speech. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Zhi Jun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lorraine. Yeah, agree that it's good to evaluate if whether the person has achieved the purpose statement or not, because it's important that you are doing a speech, like your speech today is understanding your communication style. So it's important, very, very crucial, you talk about your communication style. If you talk about other, like you talk about your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your pet, or your teddy bear, yeah, you're already away from your speech. So even though you talk very more good, that is useless. And may I have the third volunteer, Nicholas? Oh, I saw Aldi.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, okay.
Toastmaster Nicholas, the floor is yours.
Okay. I would like to start off congratulating Jefri on your wonderful speech. You started off explaining your communication style and told us about your experience and gave us examples. You talk about the time that you were in Starbucks, telling us the wonderful examples to paint more insight your comprehensive speech. And I also love the way you talk and your body language is engaging to the audience. You engage us with your hands, your movements, while I look to you in the virtual screen. Because this is a virtual screen, it's important for us to have body language. And one thing that I note that if it's very important during virtual meetings is your vocal variety. You need to use your tone to communicate. And the way you communicate is how you engage with the audience. So your vocal variety may be, for example, instead of talking to, like, you say like, listening to customer, you say, I listen to the customer. There's a stark difference because I realize when you talk in like a kind of up and down, unfiltered manner. So if you want to improve, one key thing of improving is your vocal variety and your tone, your way you speak. Other than that, I love the way that you have an ending at the end. You concluded by saying, giving us a message like other circumstances dictates what you will do in different situations. For example, you even say that your sometimes you will be supportive and you need to be simple and straight. You even told us, I love your comprehensive speech, and you even told us that you unprepared, but I don't think it's unprepared. I think it's very well concise. So, uh, last but not least, I would like to say that you need to have your body language, because body language is our verbal communication. You need to improve a bit more on your body language, which is in a virtual screen, you need to maybe stand up and show us more of your hands, more of your body, so you get to engage us more. In conclusion, you have a good way of giving us examples. You have a good ending, and your body language. There are some certain stuff that you can improve to take your speech from this level, normal, mid level, to an even higher level. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nicholas, for your evaluation. I like the way you show the hand gesture, like the low and then middle and then top. Really like your body language. And may I have the floor? Perhaps Toastmaster LD, would you like to take a try?
Yes, I will do.
Toastmaster LD, the stage is yours.
Okay, congratulations to Toastmasters Jefri for the speech today. It was kind of an engaging speech since I noticed that talking about understanding your communication style can be a boring thing, but you brought it to be something like engaging way. The first thing that I really like to listen from your speech is all about the connector. But when you were using the connectors from one story to other story, it's just like flowing. It's just like flowing, just like water in the river. I'm able to catch what you were saying, and I got the key message. At least when we are talking about communication, we have to adapt to between the situation. It means that you are also excelled at audience awareness. When I noticed that your stories were engaging, so it means that audience awareness is real. You got the point of audience awareness, and also the comfort level. I didn't expect that it was an unprepared speech. Is that really unprepared? When I noticed that you were so really comfort to deliver your speech, and the thing that you can improve the first one is all about the clarity. When other people were trying to trying to say about the vocal variety, I think I would like to say about to be firmer about the clarity. Since I'm a foreigner, I'm from your neighbor country. I listened that several things were mispronounced. It's your accent is really okay, but when you had some mispronounce, it can have some misleading or misclarity, since accent and pronunciation are two different things. So you may have to you need to have a firmer tone. For example, that what other evaluators were saying about you, and I would like to say for you that you need to have firmer tone to at least what kind of key message to be firmer as what you want to deliver. And the second one is all about hand gesture. I would like to not to see you when you have to at least to reduce some of unpurposeful hand gestures. But at least overall, I really love how do you engage your speech, because I believe it's not an easy thing to deliver the kind of boring speech, just like understanding your communication style in an engaging way. Overall, it's congratulations. I would like to learn a lot from you. Back to the evil.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aldi. You say you're a foreigner, so where are you from? Just curious.
I'm from your neighbor country. You can guess. Negeri
Pakistan.
jiran.
Iran. Is it at the Central East?
Your negeri jiran, your neighbor, Indonesia.
Oh, Nigeria. Oh. Welcome to Malaysia. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for trying a very structured and detailed speech. And may I look for the next volunteer? Perhaps Toastmaster Bindhu.
Yeah, Bindhu. Yeah, Bindhu.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry I won't be able to put my video because I have very limited data. I'm on my cell phone. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Am I audible enough?
Yeah, Toastmaster Bindhu, the stage is yours.
Okay. Jefri, what I loved about your speech was your speech charisma. You were confident. You were confident in your skill to speak. And for me, I feel for any speaker, that is the greatest tool that you can have, a tool that I sadly don't have. I would just encourage you to use that tool a little more effectively. I agree with all the other previous evaluators on the plus points of your presentation, but I'm going to be a little outlier also by differing in certain points. One is on the project objectives. One thing about this particular project, or not this particular, most of the Toastmaster projects, they do encourage us not to make the speech sound as a summary of the project. Now, I think in the beginning of your speech, you did sort of list out exactly what is given in the project, as in this is this sort of style and this is an explanation of it. You were so creative with your stories. You didn't need that actually. I feel that you could have probably gone straight into the story, and that would have been a way of engaging the audience a little more fast, because aren't we all looking for stories? That's the thing that catches our interest first and foremost. The way that you structured the different styles during different parts of your life, I thought that is something unique and nice that I have not seen other people doing this project attempt at. And it is so true. We go through different phases of life, we change, and our styles change. And the realization that you don't have to be stuck with one style or one label is a really good take-home message. Now, I feel that, just a suggestion, you could have mainly have concentrated on your take-home. You sort of ruined the take-home by your this thing that this is forget about it's an unprepared speech. You know it is a great speech. We know it's a great speech. So work up from the take-home. Now, in the first story, I really did get the take-home. You were trying to say that whatever it is, adjust your style, label yourself, but make it work for you. The first story gave us an idea how it did work for you. But the subsequent stories, I don't think so much. I mean, where was the part where it worked for you? Now, if you had brought that out, it would have connected the message throughout all the stories, and we could have related more to what you are actually meaning by the take-home and related to our lives. And one or two hypothetical questions. Haven't you been in this situation? Or doesn't that ring familiar? That will also help you to connect with the audience. But all in all, I mean, a fantastic job. Beautifully strung stories with a take-home message. Thank you, Jefri.
Thank you, Toastmaster.
Back to you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindhu. And is there any?
I think
anyone to try? Yeah.
I think the time is out for this session.
All right. So we call this the open evaluation session the end. And thank you for our 5 volunteers for your evaluation to our speaker, Toastmaster Jefri. Now, let us vote for the best open evaluation speaker for today. So, fellow audience, you may scan the QR code or type the link SLI.
No, I will just launch the Zoom
Sure.
Zoom poll. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, can everyone see the poll?
Yes.
Okay. Still need some. I need can I have few more votes?
I have 3 devices.
Few means how many more?
One more.
One more.
There's a tie here. You have 3 devices, so
Later doing a
remove
project,
2.
I have to do 3 devices.
Who else having? You have 2, and then okay. Joshua have 2. Should be able. We're still having a tie. Okay, we have a result now. Okay, passing to TME.
All right, that's end for the open evaluation session, and thank you for participating. And I would like to pass the control to our Toastmaster of the evening, Joshua.
Thank you to our open evaluation master for that wonderful session. A round of applause to all the speakers who presented their evaluation to Toastmasters Jefri, and also congratulations to you, Toastmasters Jefri, for presenting that wonderful speech. I hope you get to learn a lot from the evaluation session, take some of those comments and use it in the future when necessary. And moving on is the break session. But before we move to a break, let's have a group photo. So can everyone open your cameras?
Can I share the screen?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so we'll take 2 photos. The first one is the formal one. The second is the freestyle. Okay. Formal one in 3, 2, 1. Smile. Wait, Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1. Freestyle. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Timer, may I know what time should everyone come back?
It should be 8:50, but I think we can offer for a 3-minute break.
3 minutes break. So everyone should be back by 8:53. See you guys.
All right.
Hi, Teddy. Where are you from? Can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes, for me, right? I finished my UM Masters and I'm with Crystal from Division 102.
Wow, what masters are you in?
So which course did you graduate from, Teddy?
Environmental Management at Faculty Science.
Interesting.
What about Audrina? Can you introduce yourself to us? Talk about yourself.
Hi, sorry, I'm Toastmaster. I'm from now in Toastmaster. I've been in this group for more than 2 years now. I'm from Kuala Lumpur. I'm doing level 1, pathway 5.
All right, since it's already 8:53, let's continue the meeting. So I'll pass it to Joshua.
Okay, welcome back everyone from the break session. After the open evaluation session, we will now have our prepared speech session where our Toastmasters Club members will present their project speeches. These project speeches are in accordance with the Pathways Education Program. In Toastmasters, we have 11 pathways, 5 core competencies, which is interpersonal communication, confidence, public speaking, strategic leadership, and management. Each path have 5 levels until completion. Our first speaker for today is Toastmasters Grace Yao, who will be attempting her level 1 icebreaker speech. And the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Her evaluator for today is Toastmasters Elven, who would also be attempting his first evaluation speech, if I am not mistaken. And his project speech will be said later on during the evaluation session. I would like to now invite Toastmaster Grace to present her speech, Embracing Diversity, My Journey from Sichuan to Malaysia. Embracing Diversity, My Journey from Sichuan to Malaysia. Grace, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. The Toastmaster Club gave me the opportunity to introduce myself. Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace, and I'm excited to share a bit about my journey from the vibrant city of Chengdu in the Sichuan province to the cultural-rich Malaysia. The title of my speech is Embracing Diversity, My Journey from Sichuan to Malaysia. I've come to realize that my Chinese name, Wang Yao, poses our pronunciation challenges for many Malaysians. Upon my arrival at Malaysia, customers, the staff warmly greeted me as Huang Yong, a name that might suit a middle-aged man of about 50. To simply since I now prefer to go by my English name, which not only is easy to pronounce, but also proves handy when ordering coffee at Starbucks. After completing my master's degree, I feel an insatiable urge to explore the world. I immerse myself in diversity cultures and learn new languages. Thus, I landed here in Malaysia, a country celebrated for its rich cultural tapestry. I am currently in pursuit of a PhD position in Malaysia, in University of Malaya. Although the journey to graduation is challenging, I cherished every moment of the process and the invaluable experience it brought. In my leisure time, I found showcase and joy in exercise and swimming. The rush of dopamine and the endorphin after a good workout provides me not only with a sense of hope for new days, but also the encourage to confront life's challenges. I believe we all share a common desire for effective communication, and I've dedicated myself to honing this skill in both my personal and professional life. Despite not yet being a member of this club for long, my initial goal of improving my spoken English has involved into a journey of unexpected delights, from participating in the Christmas gift exchange to attending the club speech contest and even embarking on hiking adventures with now-found friends. Each experience has been an enriching surprise. Moreover, the exposure to diverse culture and opinions within this club has made my life journey incredibly fulfilling. As I stand here, I express my hope for building more meaningful connection and friendship in this club. I look forward to an exciting journey of self-improvement in our English and the shared joy of growing together. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Toastmasters Grace. Since this is your first speech, it is in our Toastmasters tradition to give our new members a standing ovation.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so nervous.
You don't look nervous during your speech. You look great. Anyway, good job to you, Toastmasters Grace. Hope to hear more from you in the future. Moving on, we would have our second speaker, Toastmasters Zhi Jun, attempting level 4 question and answer session. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized Q&A session. The speaker should also be responsible for managing the time so there's adequate opportunity for both. And Toastmasters Zhi Jun will also be evaluated later by Toastmasters Meng. So Toastmasters Zhi Jun's speech title, Chinese Literature, Past and Present. Chinese Literature, Past and Present. Zhi Jun, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster of Evening. First of all, let me share my screen. Am I audible?
Yes.
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 Can you all see my camera? Because I can't see my camera now. Yes.
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 Okay, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zhi Jun. I'm the lover of Chinese literature since I was young. And today I would like to talk about my research, which is Chinese literature, present and past. Before this, there are some housekeeping rules to take note of. This is a question and answer session. So there are two ways you can ask or answer my question. First, unmute your mic when I give a floor for questioning. And second, type your answer or your question in the chat box. You can always type it anytime, and I will always monitor the chat box. So hope that everyone can pay attention to me. First and foremost, I would like to ask you all, how many Chinese literature do you know? And how many Chinese dynasty do you know? You may type the answer in the chat box. Perhaps if you know that any Chinese literature, you know the title, you may type inside. Jefri 0, 1.4, for Chinese literature or any title of the book or Journey to the West. Yeah, 西游记、三国演义、Condo Heroes、红楼梦、oh, Drift of the Red Chamber. Three Kingdoms, Journey of the West, and 红楼梦. Oh, they are the 4 classic novels. Or anyone, there's still one left? Anyone knows? 水浒传. Oh, the Water Margin. Thank you. Okay, I would like to introduce the dynasty of China before I start my speech. It's important that because I will classify the types of the Chinese literature based on the dynasty. According to the Chinese history, the Xia dynasty is the first dynasty. It's founded by Emperor Yu, and he is famous on the way he cured the water and managed the flood. And next is Shang dynasty, the first dynasty for which there has the clear historical evidence. And then comes to Zhou, Qin, Han, 6th dynasty at Nanjing, and then Tang, Sui Tang 5th dynasty, and then Song Yuan, Ming, Qing, and now present. And I will classify the evolution of Chinese literature into 4 parts, which are ancient literature, classical Chinese literature, medieval and imperial literature, and last, modern and contemporary literature. First, ancient Chinese literature include from the ancient until the Han dynasty. Before the Chinese writing system was created, the stories or the myths are passed down in oral form. We call it as the Chinese mythology, 上古神话传说. And there are some famous mythologies such as Pangu created the world, Yuwa patched the sky, and the war mythology like the war between Yellow Emperor and Sherru around at the Xia dynasty. Because there does not have any exact record, so only orally. So people will add the salt or add the vinegar when passing down the story to the other people. So people will describe them was very legendary and not normal, very not normal. And this mythology have been passed down for 4,000 or 5,000 of years. It's very incredible, right? And during the Xiaoshang era, a writing system has formed. The oracle bone inscription is the earliest example of Chinese writing. It's found on oracle bones and turtle shell. During the Shang dynasty, the inscription are primarily record the divination, the religious rituals, and historical events. And there are 2 classical books that are popular, which is the Book of Zhou and the Book of Documents. We call it 周书 and 上书 in Mandarin. Now we come to the pre-Qin period. The pre-Qin period refers to time before the unification of China under the Qin dynasty in 2021 before Christ. The first poem was known in this era, and the oldest collection of Chinese poetry is Shi Jun. It contains around 305 works from the Western Zhou dynasty to the spring and autumn period. It covers a wide range of themes, including love, nature, courtship, and ritual. Yeah, one example, which is the famous poetry in Shi Jun, and also what I like is about Guanju. It's more about the romance to a girl. Besides, pre-Qin era also has the philosophers like Confucius, Mencius, Lao Tzu, Mo Zi, and some prose such as the commentary of Zhuo, and also some collection of the war strategies such as the art of war and strategies of the warring states. Another question again, after Zhou dynasty, we come to the Qin dynasty. In Mandarin, we call Qin Cao. Perhaps you may guess, is there any literature in Qin dynasty? If yes, you may type 1, and if no, you may type 2. If don't know, you may type 3. No. 2. 3 is what I saw people type 3. This for me, it's hard to say. Perhaps yes, but it can't be passed down to now. I'll classify it as little bit no, because that time the Qin dynasty was ruled under the rule of Yin Zheng, or we call Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor in China, which emphasized the strict laws and centralized control. And he ordered the burning of books and the burial of scholars. One of the scholars is called Li Si, who sacrificed during the Qin dynasty to suppress the dissenting voices. However, there's one literature what I found it's not written in the Qin dynasty, but it's related to the kingdom of Qin during the Zhou dynasty. It's called 建筑课书. And I also know got one is 吕氏春秋, but I'm not sure is it during the Qin dynasty. Perhaps if you know, you may type in the comment in the chat box. This 建筑课书, what I found is very related to the Qin. It's a petition to the king of Qin by Li Si, and it's written in the response to an order to expel all officers serving at the state of Qin who are not born in Qin. And this petition is successfully persuaded Yin Zheng, the Qin Shi Huang, to rescind the expulsion order. And I would like to say perhaps no literature passed down, because got one reason is because the period of the Qin era is too short, only 15 years. Also, it's hard to produce many good literature. Until Liu Bang won the war, it fight over the Qin dynasty, and then he founded the Han dynasty. The Liu Bang, which is the Han Gaozhu, he encouraged more literature to be produced and support the ideology of Confucius and Taoism. So in the Han dynasty, prose was further developed. There are some famous one is the Hong Men Yan, the records of the Grand Historian written by Sima Qian, and 10 Crimes of Qin written by Jia Yi. At the same time, essays combining prose writings and readers' rhymes becomes more popular, and a new format Fu emerged and developed into the mainstream format of literature. There are 4 famous Han Fu poets such as Sima Xiangru, Yang Xiong, Bindhu, and Zhang Hen. And this the slide shows how the Han Fu looks like. It's written by a famous poet, is Sima Xiangru. Second, we come to the classical Chinese literature era, which includes the Han Dynasty until Tang. During this time, classical Chinese poetry reached its peak during the Tang Dynasty. Because at that time, the scholars, they are required to master the poetry for the civil service exam. There are consistent rhythms required, such as 5-character regulated verse or 7-character regulated verse for Tang poems, and also some Tang prose. This is the prose written by a poet called by Zhi Jun, 长恨歌. I found it because my Form 6 friend told me that it's difficult to memorize for this. Yeah, it's in what I heard is in the Form 6 Chinese textbook. It's talk about the story of Tang Xuanzong, the emperor of the Tang, and his concubine Yang Guifei. Perhaps you may guess, how many lines do this prose have? This is only the half. There's still many left. 100, almost. Since half, 90, 32. Another page. Answer is 114. And another question. Who are the poets in the Tang Dynasty? Perhaps may type the poets you know in the chat box. Or wrong. Li Bai, Tang Yuan. Let me ask Uncle Google. Okay. See you back. IGE. IGE is more like the prose. Yeah, it's considered a poet also. Any more? Tang Guo, Tang Yuan. Okay. Du Fu. No, not Tang Yuan. Tang Yuan is the Chinese dumpling. Okay. The poets include the poet immortal Li Bai, the poet San Du Fu, the poet magician Bai Ji, and the poet wizard Li He. There are still many left, like Li Xiangying or Li Shen, and many more. And Wang Wei also. Now it comes to the third, medieval and imperial Chinese literature. It comprises a vast array of literary works produced during the Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasty, from the 10th century to the earlier 20th century. In the Song dynasty, poetry evolved into a genre called Ci, Song Ci, or song poems in English. It's essentially composed for the banquets and the events. There are strict rules on the number of sentences and words, and on the intonation of each word. In Mandarin, we call yin, yang, shang, qu. And can't find the English translate, but it's very, very focused on the intonation. As saying goes, sound is one of the basic forms to convey aesthetic information. The song ci is considered as a kind of music literature, whose musicality is of high aesthetic value. According to different writing style, song ci is composed into two schools, bold and unconstrained, graceful and restrained. The former was led by poets such as Su Shi and Xing Qiji, while the latter includes Liu Yong and Li Qingzhao. The Yuan dynasty was known for its drama literature, or we call Yuan Qu, English we call Yuan Song, including a poetry, drama, and verse song. The dramas and the plays of the Yuan dynasty are rich in subject and characters. They are flexible and diverse in creation as well. The most popular one includes Ma Zhiyuan's Autumn in the Han Palace, Han Gongqiu, and Wang Shifu's Romance in the West Chamber, Xi Xiangji. And this is a style of what Yuan Qu, the Yuan song, looks like. Now we come to the Ming Qing dynasty. With the development of the economy, there are increasing cultural needs and demand. Hence, novel as a literary genre prevailed. Novel during that time focused on the description of characters and reflect social life through a complete storyline and environment description. The 4 Greek classical novels of ancient China includes Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Journey to the West, Water Margin, and Dream of the Red Chamber, all created in this period. Last but not least, we come to modern and contemporary Chinese literature. It refers to the literary works produced from the late Qing dynasty to the present day. During the late Qing dynasty, with the encouragement of one author called Hu Shi, he encouraged the writers to use the vernacular Chinese, which is Bai Hua Wen, instead of the classical Chinese Wen Yan Wen, to reach a wider audience so that everyone can understand the literature. After the Qing dynasty, during the Republic of China, the May 4 movement of 1919 and the subsequent New Culture movement advocated for cultural and intellectual reform. It rejects the traditional Confucian values and calling for the modernization and enlightenment. Writers such as Lu Xun, Hu Shi, and Chen Duxiu, they play key roles in the movement. May 4 writers experimented with new literary forms and techniques influenced by the Western literature, including the realism, naturalism, and modernism. For example, Lu Xun's short stories such as The True Story of A.Q. and Diary of the Madman are the prime examples of this literary experimentation. Now I come to the First and Second World War era, the tumultuous period of Wallonism, the Northern Expedition, the Japanese invasion, and the Chinese Civil War inspired a literature of resistance and revolutionary fervor. So the writers like Pa Jing and Mao Dun, they depict the structures of common people and advocated for social change. There are one very famous book which are written during this time, this era, the war era, which called Midnight. Mandarin we call Zi Ye. It's written by Mao Dun. And one slightly related, which is Qiu Lü Ji. It's one prose written by one soldier called Lu Yu. Hope I pronounce right. Now we come to the post-Mao era. Following the Mao Zedong's death during the 1976 and the end of the Cultural Revolution, Chinese literature experienced a period of renaissance and diversification. So the writers like Mo Yan, Yu Hua, and Su Tong emerged as a leading voice. They explore themes of individualism, historical trauma, and social change. However, I will not show the example because Malaysia rebels the ideology of communism. Besides the Chinese literature in the Greek of China, the late 20th century and early 21st century, it witnessed the emergence of diaspora literature by Chinese authors living overseas, such as Ha Jing from America and Shang Wanyun from Malaysia, who grapple from the questions from identity, migration, and cultural heritage. So the literature from the Chinese authors who live overseas, they also insert some colors of the migration or culture in their own respective country also. And now, with the rise of internet, a new form of literature known as internet literature is emerged and characterized by its accessibility and interactive. Online platforms are now popular for writers and everyone to publish their works and engage with readers. So now, if you want to start to write a story, it's very easy. You just write and then you just post on the social media or the online platforms. Everyone will access to their literature. To summarize the evolution of Chinese literature, at first the mythology and story were just passed down orally before words are created. Until the Shang Zhou dynasty, the words are used for the political purpose. Starting from the Han Dynasty, the styles of literature became more varied and comprehensive, such as Fu, Shi, Ci, Qu, prose, and novels. However, this time, there are still less people who could access to literature education. They don't even have the chance to learn the words. But now, we have to appreciate that literature is common to each of us and easy to access. I would like to end my speech with the literature I like. Let's say I dislike the ancient Chinese literature because they use the classical Chinese to write. It's hard to understand. So what I like is about the romance thing, like Six Records of a Floating Life, Romance of the Western Chamber, and Dream of the Red Chamber. Looks very modern. Yeah. And now I would like to open. Now I see, is there any question from the floor would like to ask?
From me, I have a question.
Yeah.
May I know what does modernism stands for?
Modernism, 现代. Chinese
I mean, what does
that
that mean in art and culture? What does it differ from the ancient Chinese literature?
From my view, what he differs from the ancient is ancient with the main one. The ancient they use the classical Chinese, and now we use the modern Chinese, which is called 白话文. It's because like that, maybe because that time is less term and less words created, and now we have more words, so they just use the words and language will become more simplified and easy for everyone to read.
Thank you so much. I thought the modernism has something to do with those people studying in faculty arts. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, I see from the chat box, is there any question?
I got one question. Yeah, Zhi
Yeah.
Jun, thank you for the very good slides. I just
Okay.
want to ask, how do you think is Chinese literature still relevant in like current day setting? Just your thoughts on
Yep.
like how this literature, Chinese literature is still relevant in like current day setting, or at least like in Malaysia.
What is relevant?
No, how is it
Like-
still relevant in our setting?
What is relevant is we can appreciate about as I said just now, because the ancient Chinese, the literature, the words are more to the political and the recording purpose. So we can appreciate the history. Like for example, is the art of war. It's not what I like is about it not just talk about the war of the strategy of the war. It's also state about the ways, the tactics, how you communicate with people, or the ways how you promote a business or something.
Agree, understand. Yeah, thank you.
Any question?
Maybe I can have a question.
Okay.
So I seldom read about modernity in Chinese literature. They do not discuss human interaction with legal system, human interaction with the biosphere, the environmental condition. So is this just my impression? How accurate is this impression? In terms of Chinese literature, discussing human interaction with the environment, human interaction with the legal system.
Sorry, may you repeat the question?
In a lot of Western literature, they discuss human interaction with the biosphere, the environment.
Yeah.
Like in Darwin talk about Darwin's book, you know that one. And then of course there are also a lot of books by say Austen discussing the human interaction with legal system. Okay, my time's almost up. So what about Chinese literature? Is there any take on that aspects?
For now, I don't have the answer to talk about. So perhaps you may communicate after the session.
Yes, can.
Sure. And I see the time is up, so I would like to end my speech now. Thank you for listening to my speech, and back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Zhi Jun, for that wonderful speech about Chinese literature. I hope everyone get to learn more new things. Like maybe we get to know there's this book called Six Records of a Floating Life, or maybe and others, and which literature belongs to which dynasty. Once again, good job to you, Toastmaster Zhi Jun. With that, our prepared speech session is over. And may I ask the ASAA, do we have to vote for the best speaker for today's session?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
Give me 1 second to launch it. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
So everyone, you may vote for the best speaker. Okay.
Can I get one more vote?
One vote.
Yes. Okay, just give me just. Who else? Okay lah.
Okay.
It's okay lah. Can.
Okay, then that marks the end of the project speech session. We will now move from the project speech session to the evaluation session, where the project speech speakers will get their evaluations from their evaluator. And currently, Meng, our general evaluator, he has an emergency meeting, so he's not here. So I will help him to conduct the evaluation session. As mentioned previously, Toastmasters Elven would be the one to evaluate on Toastmasters Grace speech. And Toastmasters Elven is also conducting his level 1 evaluation and feedback evaluator speech. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. And it is also for the member to deliver constructive feedback on another member's presentation. After Toastmasters Elven present his evaluation, Toastmasters Nicholas would then evaluate on his performance. So I would like to invite Toastmasters Elven to give his evaluation to Toastmasters Grace. Over to you, Elven.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Joshua. Now I'm aware that Grace is not here, but before I start, I just wonder just now when Grace speak about her journey, I wonder if I were a girl and if I were given a chance to go to a country that their language is not my mother tongue, am I there enough to go? I don't think I'm there enough. I'm delighted that Grace is brave enough to come to a country that is totally out of different of a culture. I'm quite surprised that Grace, you delivered a very structural speech that you have a flow of your speech. First of all, you talk about yourself. You introduce that you came from Sichuan, from China. That's a wonderful place. And the curiosity in your heart that the curiosity in your heart that you want to come to a totally different country to seek for a different culture, such as Malaysia. That the purpose of you to come into Malaysia to understand about our culture. And after that, why do you want to join Toastmaster is because of you think that it can help you, it could help you in your future, that it could enhance your communication skills and of course English. And last but not least, you also talk about your expectations and this gives me this provides me a very structural understanding of what you're trying to say. Other than that, you have a very clear content that you mentioned about why do you know you want to travel to Malaysia. I know that as a girl or as a woman, it's quite difficult for you to come over here, especially when you have a lot of doubts about your security, even your communication skills, such as your language. Other than that, in China, we know that English is not very popular, despite that the world English is the language that is commonly used in international. However, you are brave enough to come to Malaysia, and that's what I'm quite delighted to hear. What I think that you could improve is your lack of hand gesture that is kind of makes you feel to it kind of makes you hard to make you feel to get our attentions or get my attention as an audience. And sometimes that I have to look into your eyes so that I can try to listen to more what you are trying to say and what you're trying to show through your facial expressions. Other than that, I personally think that you could maybe prepare more about yourself, or maybe talk about your childhood, or talk about your favorite hobbies, because I realize that your content is a little bit too short, which I think you have more chance to talk about your own self and let us to understand more about you. In conclusion, I love about your structural speech, as this is just your first time giving a speech. I love about how it is structured, and you have a very clear content telling us why that you want to come to Malaysia and how brave you were when you have decided to come into Malaysia. And in short, I believe that you can improve your hand gesture, and you can tell us more about yourself next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Elven, for your evaluation to Toastmasters Grace. I would leave the comments to Toastmasters Nicholas to provide you with his comment on how you did. But I feel that your evaluation was actually quite interesting to listen to. It feels engaging with us, especially with the speaker and to us as the audience. So great job to you, Toastmasters Elven. Next, I would like to invite Toastmasters Meng to evaluate on Toastmasters Zhi Jun's speech. Meng, over to you.
Hi everyone, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, General Evaluator TME, Toastmaster Joshua, for the kind introduction. Now I'd like to start evaluating Toastmasters Zhi Jun's Q&A session titled Chinese Literature Past and Present. Now, I'd like to start mentioning about your strength in three parts. First, on the slides. Second, on the Q&A speech, the speech you have made throughout so far, and the Q&A session you have facilitated towards the end of the speech. So let's begin with the slides. So the slides is something I love the most because you begin with the house rules, which allows all us, including me, the audience, to know when to speak and when not to speak while you're giving a speech, especially in the Q&A session. The second thing I like about your slides is that you have made a very good chronological organization to the Chinese dynasties, especially the slides, the line indicating from when to when. That is a very comprehensive way to let me know personally and everyone here about a brief summary on the Chinese history. And also you did correspond well with the literature you have presented so far with the dynasties respectively. And lastly, I like about your slides is that the animation, that the static movement of some elements in the slides is nice, it captivates me. That's what I liked. The second part I like to talk about is on the speech department. So what you have done so far is you have engaged with the audience, including me, by posing some question while presenting, especially on asking how many literature do you know and how many Chinese dynasty do you know so far. This is one of good way which I believe to gauge the audience on how many of us know on the history of China in general. And last and not least, we're going to talk about Q&A session. So you did give a good example to Toastmaster Samuel on his question on application of Chinese literature in the modern age, which is Sun Tzu, the classic book which people use all the time in businesses. This is one good start. And what I like when you facilitate a Q&A session is that you are not condescending to any one of us. So you also ask us, you do seek clarification from the third Q&A third questioner, which I believe is Teddy, right? Toastmaster Teddy, and you defer it to a later to further if you have no questions. This is actually a good way to keep your time managed properly. As for the improvement, I like to challenge yourself by doing compare and contrast. What I find about this speech is that while you have organized a speech from dynasty to dynasties to dynasties, I find it will be better if you could tell us the difference between the Qing dynasty and the Han dynasty and tell us what makes it different from another. Maybe it's the proses, the number of proses, or the style of reciting the poetry. Maybe that will be more interesting. And another fact I like you to do is adding additional spice to the era that you're describing. So what you do is that you could tell us what Yuan dynasty is all about. Oh, maybe it's the Mongols. You can tell us about it. So then Mongols invaded China, that was Yuan dynasty. So you let us have a bit of fun fact about knowing the dynasties. And Ming dynasty, you can tell us that is when Laksamana Cheng Ho they come to Malacca. At least we can we can know when the Ming dynasty is, and we can make audience feel more relatable assimilations. And lastly, I would like you to elaborate the terms which you put in the slides, such as diasporas. So diasporas so I just want to ask the audience, does anyone of you know what diaspora means? So what
No.
diaspora means is that we are Chinese diasporas in Malaysia, meaning that we are technically Chinese, but we reside in other countries. So we are diasporas. That is what it meant. So this is one good, this is what we should explain, which I believe you should explain to the audience here. And lastly, I'd like you to give a half-time way of doing Q&A session. So when you have done your speech halfway, you can open up the floor for 2 to 3 minutes and ask the audience on this, so that at least the audience are able to have the time to digest and understand more further. So in conclusion, your strength lies in your slides, on your captivating speech, asking questions, and organizing a good Q&A session towards the end of the speech. As a points of improvement, I will say is CATH, that will be compare and contrast, additional spice, terms described properly, and half time. That's all from me. Back to you, Toastmaster Evening. Forgive me for the long evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmasters Meng. What I love about Toastmasters Meng's evaluation just now was that he was very detailed in each of his points, especially when he say he wants to mention 3 strengths. At first, he will talk about the slides. What about the slides that you like? Is it in the contents or in the literature and dynasties, or maybe is it the static movements? And then he move on to how the speaker engages with the audiences and how was the Q&A session conducted. One thing that I noticed is in Toastmasters is that sometimes there may be a lot of information that you like to share, and all of it was quite good. What I would like to suggest is perhaps choose the ones that you think is important, especially say this is a Q&A session. Maybe you would like to choose the points that can help the speaker to improve in his or her future Q&A session. Of course, the content points was good, but we have to also remember that this is a Q&A session project. So good job to you, Toastmasters Meng. Next is the open evaluation session. Open evaluation evaluator, which was supposed to be conducted by Meng. And Meng will later on provide his evaluation report to each speakers at a later date. I would also like to add on, allow me to add on to the speakers. This is just like my feelings of how each speakers did their evaluation. So what I love about the evaluation in the open evaluation session is that every evaluator uses the I statement. For example, I feel relatable with your story. I feel the uniqueness of your story. This shows how effective a speaker's speech is to the people who are listening to it. And it gives some sort of engagement between the evaluator and the speaker. I would like to start off with Toastmaster Samuel. What I like about your speech, or what I like about your evaluation is that you started out with a catchy intro, for example, a new story to hear, meaning that you can, from there we can see your relationship with the speaker, Jefri, that you guys frequently communicating with each other, knowing what they're about to present. And I also like how you give us a concise points to the speaker, as well as good suggestions. And lastly, you also ended it with a summary. The suggestions is the the third person point of view, where you move one side to the other side. So you give a good example to Toastmasters Jefri. And for Toastmasters Lorraine, what I like about her evaluation was that she gave a good intonation and a clear voice, and she was very firm when she was presenting her evaluation, like strong key message, and she even provide a concrete suggestions, such as giving characters different voice tones and move back away from camera to express the body language. For Toastmasters Nicholas, what I like is in terms of his summary of the speaker's speech, and straight away he jumped to the technical points, which is how he feels about the body language. Is it engaging? Is it not engaging? He even noted about the importance of vocal variety in a virtual setting, which sometimes we may not notice, but we can be a bit monotone when we are presenting in a virtual setting. And I also like how he gave something more, give a motivational advice. Like he say that he feels that the speaker is prepared, even though he say he's unprepared for the speech. Next is Toastmasters Aldi. I also like how Toastmasters Aldi is concise in his speech, and he's also quite detailed, where he at first congratulates the speakers and mention about the connectors from one story to another, and even mention about how the speaker excelled at audience awareness. He even provide suggestions such as needing a firmer tone on delivery and providing comments on the hand gesture. And lastly is Toastmasters Bindhu. What I like about her speech was that she gave a nice pacing during her speech. She even told the speaker that he was confident, that he's confident in his speech. And one thing I like is that she also mentioned about the project objectives, which the other evaluators did not mention, to signify to the speaker whether he achieved or did not achieve the speech project objectives. In terms of improvements, perhaps I may need to also review the recording again, I may not be able to capture it. So I'm sorry if I can't give the appropriate suggestions on how we can improve. Perhaps later on when Meng can give his report, you can review it and see where you can improve in the future. Overall, I think I like how each speakers have their own unique way, unique technique in presenting the evaluation just now during the open evaluation session. And last but not least, I would like to ask, is Toastmasters Nicholas ready for the evaluation?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes, you're ready. Okay. So I would now like to pass the floor to Toastmasters Nicholas to give his evaluation on Toastmasters Elven. Over to you, Toastmasters Nicholas.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so congratulations, Elven, on your very first virtual evaluation, and also congratulations on doing your project, giving evaluation and feedback. So you listen to the speaker tentatively, and you gave her a comprehensive evaluation. The way you listen, you talk about when she was in China and when she came over to Malaysia as a girl, it's like a very encouraging and very courageous move because Malaysia and China have different cultures. And I also love the way that you listen to the speaker and your feedbacks are encouraging. You say that the flow and the structure of her speech, which is something that you commented about it, and I find it encouraging to the speaker. And last but not least, something that you need to talk about, is you excel at giving examples. The way you give examples is adequate, and I find it quite engaging. There are some things that you need to improve on to elevate your evaluation to the next levels. Maybe you should focus some of the technical aspect of giving a speech and the way you evaluate. For example, you should the way you evaluate, maybe use some gestures and body language. Gestures, you can use your hands, you can use your head as a gesture. Your body language dictates how you evaluate person. Also, your vocal variety. You need to talk in a higher tone, or in like some sequences and some lower tone, instead of just being continuously monotonous. And last but not least, something that you can improve on, that you can use this as your speak as your own second evaluation speech, is your introduction and ending. Just have a short, simple introduction and also an ending to summarize everything so that you can become a better evaluation and give even better feedbacks. So that's all. Elven, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Nicholas, for your evaluation to Toastmasters Elven. And Toastmasters Elven, I'm sure you also gain some new insights on how to provide a evaluation in the future. And I also like how Toastmasters Nicholas reminds us through his points that evaluation is also similar like a speech, where we also have to remember about using hand gestures and vocal variety in presenting the evaluation to keep it engaging to the speaker and also to audiences who wish to improve in their speech as well. So good job to you, Toastmasters Nicholas. Yeah. Okay, so that's all for the evaluation session. I think now it's time for us to vote for the best evaluator. ASAA, is the poll ready?
Can you guys see the poll?
Yes, we can see the poll.
Okay.
So everyone, you may vote for the best evaluator.
Okay, we have a result.
Okay, great. Next is for the technical role players to present their report. I would first like to invite the grammarian, Toastmasters Sherru, to provide her grammarian's report. Over to you, Sherru.
So for the word of the day usage, Samuel has used once, Nicholas has used 3 times. Comprehensive summary, comprehensive speech, comprehensive evaluation, and Meng has used once comprehensive way. Jefri has used once comprehensive evaluation. And for the inappropriate usage, and then maybe can change to then. Don't talk until hurt the feeling. Don't talk until you hurt the feeling. Start off congratulating. Start off by congratulating. And for good usage of the words, Jefri, last but not least. Grace Yao, Vibrant City. Lorraine, take home messages. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you to Toastmasters Sherru for the grammarian report. Next, I would like to invite our counter Toastmasters Jane to present to us her counter report. Over to you, Jane.
All right, thank you, Joshua. So first, I'll start with those that have pause filler first. So I caught Joshua having 1R, 3R, total of 4 pause filler. Jefri, 1R, Samuel, 2R, 2R. One repeated words, I once. Inappropriate interjections, twice. A total of 8 pause fillers. Nicholas, 3R. Aldi, 3R. Grace, 4 5R and 9R. Total of 18 pause fillers. Meng, 9R. Total of 9 pause fillers. And Zhi Jun, although you don't have but you do have some pause fillers that Meng mentioned last times, which like you tend to drag the word. Yeah, same problem lah. Okay, so for the others, I didn't really caught much, and that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Jane, for the counter report. Next, I would like to invite our timer, Toastmasters Koon to present the timer's report. Over to you, Koon.
Sure. Let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen now?
Oh yeah.
Not yet.
Okay. Sorry. Oh wow. I think. Wait. Oh, sorry, some technical problem here.
Maybe you would like to read out the timing, or would you like us to wait a few more minutes?
Okay. Never mind, I just stop sharing. I just read out all of that.
Okay.
Okay. So for today, for Jefri, the test speakers spends 6 minutes 11 seconds. Samuel 3 minutes 8 seconds. Lawrence 3 minutes 3 seconds. Nicholas 3 minutes 3 seconds. Adius 3 minutes 8 seconds, and Bindhu 3 minutes 12 seconds. For our project speakers, Grace Yells 4 minutes 8 seconds, and Zhi Jun 25 minutes 51 seconds, which overspent 5 minutes 21 seconds. For our open evaluation evaluators, Minkan, you going for a silent evaluation, so there's no time taken. Okay, for our project speech evaluations, Elven spent 3 minutes 9 seconds. Yumin spent 5 minutes 28 seconds, which overspent 1 minute 58 seconds. And Nicholas spends 2 minutes 42 seconds. For the role players, Sherru spends 1 minute 30 seconds, and Jane spends 1 minute 15 seconds. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Thank you, Timer Koon, for the detailed timing report to all of our speakers today. And after the timers report is the general evaluators report, also supposed to be also presented by Meng, but Meng will present it later in a recorded version. My comments for today's meeting is we started on time at 8 p.m. and despite lack of manpower, but we still managed to do it today. We still managed to do it today. I think today's open evaluation session was a good session. It's a eye-opener to those who is doing evaluation for their first time, and also for some of our members to get a few practices on evaluation, and maybe you'll be the next evaluation contest champion in the future. And of course, not just in the contest champion, you can also apply it in your life as well. Like when someone needs your help to evaluate on their work, or maybe evaluate on their performance, you can use whatever you learn in Toastmasters to evaluate it on them as well. And I also want to thank Jefri for willing to present his speech to be the test speaker in the open evaluation session. Thank you. And in today's prepared speech session, we have one from our new member, Toastmasters Grace, and the other one is from Toastmasters Zhi Jun. Both of them presented something from China. One is from Sichuan, the other one is the Chinese literatures from different dynasties. And yes, even though Chinese New Year is over, but I guess it still lives within us for this year. And I think both speeches are really engaging to us, to all of us. It's relatable, and I think the audiences also enjoyed it today. And lastly is on the evaluation. I feel that each evaluators also give a very concise and detailed report to the speakers, as well as provide some examples on how the speakers can improve in their future speeches. I think that is all from my side, for my report. Yes, I think that is all from my side. So I think right now we can move on to the next session, which is the award ceremony session. Okay, so for our award ceremony session, we have three. First one is for the best open evaluation speaker. So who do you guys think is the best open evaluation speaker in today's meeting?
Everyone's a winner.
Okay, I think Jeffrey, what you said was right. Everyone is definitely winner. No one is great. No one is bad. We are all unique. We all have our own style of presenting. So the best open evaluation speaker is
Joshua.
not me. The best open evaluation speaker goes to Bindhu. Congratulations, Bindhu. Bindhu, would you like to open your camera to take a picture?
Oh, sorry, I just can't open my camera. I might just disappear altogether. I have such little data, but thank you so much. I never expected it because the other evaluations were amazing. I was impressed throughout the meeting with the evaluations, starting from the open session evaluators to the individual speech evaluators and the GE's evaluation. So I was just getting all this information in, and I never ever expected that with it I would get the best evaluator. Thank you all, thank all of you, and thank you for having me in this meeting. I really enjoyed it, and I really learned.
Congratulations.
So we'll move on to the next session, but we are happy to hear that you've learned something new in UM Toastmasters Club, and that you feel and that you feel enjoyable in today's meeting, Bindhu. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Moving on to the next one, which is for the best prepared speech speaker. Previously, the best speaker goes to Samuel. And for today's meeting, who do you think it would be? Could it be Jefri, perhaps? Or could it be Zhi Jun? Or could it be Grace? Who is the best speaker?
Zhi Jun.
And the best speaker goes to both Jefri and Zhi Jun. Two winners for today.
Okay.
Congratulations.
How am I gonna take the photos? Can pin both.
Both. Both.
Okay. Zoom master who can take pin for me? Never mind. No, I take picture of Zhi Jun, then I edit myself inside. Okay, Zhi Jun, smile to the camera. In 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you.
All right. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Lastly, we have the best evaluator. Previously, the best evaluator goes to Toastmasters Sri Pugan, which is an external guest. And today, who could it be? Who could be the best evaluator? Best evaluator goes to
Joshua.
No.
Elven.
The best evaluator goes
Joshua.
to Meng. Congratulations, Meng.
Woohoo! 3, 2, 1, smile. Congratulations, Meng.
And here's a certificate of appreciation to our general evaluator presented to Ming Kang. But he's not here, so I guess I'll just represent him to take picture then. No, I'm just kidding. Don't need to take picture.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now that we're done with the award session, next is our upcoming meetings. Our upcoming meetings is on the 4th of March 2024, which is a hybrid meeting. That is the start of the new semester in University Malaya. And after 4th of March is 18th of March 2024. Both are the hybrid meetings. So you can join us online, or you can come to University Malaya at KPS, which is College Perdana Sichuan, just opposite the main library, and you can meet us physically. And you may also mark down these dates on your calendar. And before we end, I would like to invite any guests who would like to share with us your comments, or what do you think? How do you feel about today's meeting? Anyone would like to share? Perhaps Aldi or Bindhu or maybe Elios?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Elios. Yes, we'll share. How do you feel about today's meeting?
Yeah, can you hear me? Clear?
Um, Not that clear. Maybe louder a bit.
Testing?
Okay, we can hear you.
Can? Okay, yeah. Uh, I was. Okay. Now can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, so I was invited by Z. She sent the link into my group, and I think I don't know either she is coming or not. But yeah, this is a great meeting. At first I came and then Jeffrey is the one sole speaker and then he got a lot of evaluation. Wow. It is like you are having evaluation contest. And I didn't see the speech of Jeffrey, so I don't know how to give a feedback or input for him. Sorry for that. But yes, I think for the whole meeting it is good. I really love about the Chinese literature speeches. I really love Chinese culture also. I'm a big fan of Three Kingdoms, Romance of Three Kingdoms, and also Journey to the West. And one of it is Suikoden. I don't know. I think Water Margin. That's all top three of China literature, and those are the one that keep me hooked during the meeting. And I think that's all from me. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Elios, for your feedback. Next, Bindhu, you would like to share?
Well, I did already tell you how I really enjoyed the evaluations, but I just wanted to ask, was this a special session of this open evaluation, or is it a standard part of your regular meetings?
It's like a special session, but I think we do it annually, like once a year we will do an open evaluation session just to let the members try evaluation, because maybe not all of us have the chance to try evaluation. So I think this is a good time for members to get a feeling of what.
I felt it is a really perfect idea because I have seen round robin, and as a few of my clubs have round robin as a fixed feature. The advanced clubs, most of them do have this sort of multiple evaluations. But the best part of this session, what you did was you gave each evaluator the 3 minutes, the regular evaluation session time. And what I really appreciated was that everyone's evaluation was different. No one repeated what the other person was saying as an evaluation. And if I gather all the points, it is an immense amount of feedback to the speaker. Of course, the speaker has a liberty to take the points that resonate with him. But still, it is, like you said, it is educational to all of us on how the different ways that we can evaluate. And the other thing that I really appreciated about your club was the open friendliness of the evaluations, the urge to help the speaker. It was there in each and every one of the evaluations throughout. That sometimes something that I sometimes find difficult to incorporate adequately into my evaluations. My evaluations tend to veer towards the what my mentor would say, perfectionism. So I have a lot to take back from, like I said, the generosity and friendliness that was incorporated into most of the evaluations today. So thank you for that opportunity of seeing it in your club.
Thank you, Bindhu. We really appreciate your comments, as well as Elios. We also appreciate your comments as well. And we hope that both of you may come back again and visit us sometime in the future. And lastly, maybe I'd like to invite Aldi as well to give us your comments about today's meeting.
All right, it's a great idea for having a round robin evaluation speech like this. I think this is my real yeah, I think I would like to come again when it has something like this session.
All right, thank you, Aldi, for your comments. With that, I would like to pass the floor to our President Jane to give her closing address. Thank you.
Thank you to our Toastmasters of the evening, Joshua. Thank you for the great session. Thank you for holding the whole session throughout this meeting today. And I think I will just call this meeting adjourned. Thank you everyone for joining. And good night, and we will see you next Monday physically in Complex Perdana Sisa DP4. Oh yeah, before that, we will be having our area contest for international speech and evaluation contest on this Saturday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Dewan Perdana 4 Complex Perdana Siswa UM. So if you are free, come drop by, come support our contestants from UMTMC, and we will see you. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Bye.